So welcome back, everyone. We had to replay Ted. He had an important meeting with the IRS, but now we're live. And I want to say hi to everybody on Facebook. We're going to be sharing this show right after the show. We're going to be sharing it. Like us, follow us. And a lot of people are loving all of that stuff with that Facebook stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
I want to introduce my second guest that's on the air with me right now. She has been on with me several times before. I have with me Doris Milton, and she's the owner of Healthcare. You're a healthcare career growth coach.
Yes.
Tell everybody a little bit about it. It's so interesting. Listen up, everybody, because there are a lot of people out there that might be in the medical field, and you may not be in that forever, or you might not want to be in that forever. So listen up, everyone. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be back with you, Carol. I really enjoy it.
Thank you.
I guess one of the reasons I love being here is that I feel so fortunate that I've had a dream career. I've been practicing nurse in emergency rooms, critical care units. I've been in administrative positions like Director of Nursing Research and Education in healthcare systems. I've been a faculty member and administrator and dean at universities. I've been able to write books, speak, and professional speaking was just a wonderful thing for me because I love to travel too. So I got to travel to different places. I've traveled as far away as Australia to speak. So
that's incredible.
I guess I want, everyone to have their dream career. And what I find a lot of when I talk to healthcare professionals, and I'm using that in the broadest sense because it includes administrators or executives or people who work in those kind of positions in healthcare, is I find they're working on a lot of important things, a lot of urgent projects. But when I talk to them and I say, well, what do you want to be doing 3 years from now? What do you want to be doing 5 years from now? I get the reaction of, oh, I never thought of that because, one day rolls into the next for us. And the other thing is that I guess they're not really in their dream job. They have good jobs and they're working on important things, but they feel a lot like they're spinning their wheels. Like if you ask them, what do you want to be doing 3 years from now, and we figure that out, anything they're working on is not necessarily helping them to get where they say they want to be.
Well, it's interesting because I think about that. We had talked about this many times, where people are in a job and they're doing it, they're getting paid, and whether they love it or not, the fact is that sometimes that job does not stay because they stop doing it. That happens to people who are not in the healthcare field, right?
It happens to so many people. And I think that's how I got started with doing this, is that I was getting contacted by people who were reorganized out of their jobs or things such as that, and everybody said, oh, call Doris and meet with her because she's done a lot of different things. Maybe she can help you. And then I started doing workshops for the State Nurses Association. We're going back many years. And rather than motivating people or inspiring people, I find that a lot of people in healthcare don't need the motivation or the inspiration. They need an actual plan they can follow, because they get home like the rest of us and they're tired, and by the time you have dinner and take care of your mail and all of those kind of things, it's time to get ready for tomorrow. And one
Tell
day
us
leads
about
to
it.
the next.
You can be doing a radio show and have to do that too.
Well, you're doing radio and TV, so it's some days you probably don't have to stop and think of, do I go do radio today or is this a TV day? And people in healthcare are in the same kind of position. They're tired. They get home, they have children, they have elders, they have all different responsibilities, grocery shopping, and very little time to think about what they want to do. But I always work with them to develop a detailed career plan, and I tell them if they can just give me 15 minutes 3 times a week to implement that, because they don't have a whole lot of time and they don't have a whole lot of energy, that they can have the career that's their dream. And I find that in other careers as well, is that people they impose limitations on themselves of, I can't do this. Like, I remember when I was growing up, I grew up in a low-income city housing project in New York, so the idea even for me to become a nurse was rather ludicrous. The other people around me just didn't have that kind of a kind of a goal. So I find that a lot of people are waiting for some opportunity to come along, and it doesn't come along. Or as you're saying, they like their position that they're in now, and that's where they plan to stay. And I say, well, I hope the organization feels the same way.
Exactly, because you never know when that something changes. No. I mean, in the medical field, that changes all of the time. So it could be something that you do that they find a new way to do it without having to have you.
And that's very, very much happening right now with things like robotics and all the work being done in genetics. Things are changing. Plus, a lot of people find that you may like your job, and like I may get along well with you, but if the host of this changes, I may not connect with that person, and that can mean that you're no longer in that position as well.
Right. So but what you do is you do a free, it's a half an hour career strategy session.
Right.
And you offer that to everybody. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is I want you to check out her website, because you've got some things that you want to talk about right now that are kind of cool that you've been doing and excited about, which are webinars. And I want to talk about that. Her website is healthcarecareergrowth.com. The phone number is 602-944-3292. And you can also call in here. I'm going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show and get this 1.5 hour. It's a career strategy session. It happens to be, I mean, I know a lot of people are going, I want that just because, I need it. Yeah. And we've talked a little bit about that. But you have you have a niche. And the niche is that you want work with people in the medical field. And we want people to understand
Anybody who's in healthcare, because there's differences. The same principles would apply, say, to somebody in business or somebody in education. But I don't have the expertise in those areas. For example, in many careers in healthcare, people who are professionals, administrators, are expected to publish in professional journals. I know which journals. I know what the expectations of those journals are. The same principle applies in other fields, but I don't know what those journals are. I don't know what manuscripts they're looking for. I do know with healthcare.
And so that's the niche that she has, and everybody's getting, if you know, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's someone you know. That's what I love about my show. It's information. That's all it is. And for the people that are listening out there, you might know somebody that might be in the healthcare field, and maybe they might like to have a half-hour free career strategy session, because that job is not forever. Nothing is forever. So you never know. You might be, thinking of maybe retiring. I know when you were on one of the first times, somebody had called you about something that they were saying they heard you, and it was just something you said that just clicked with them, and they said, gosh, I never thought about that. I would be interested in doing that session with her, because maybe I can find out what it is that I might want to do that I never even thought about.
And I think that's one of the biggest areas, Carol, is that we get so involved in our day-to-day existence. And for example, one of the groups that I'm hearing from quite a bit recently are people in healthcare who are getting ready to retire. And they want to stop doing what they're doing now, but they don't want to come to a screeching halt. They want to be able to use everything that's in their head, all the knowledge, the skills, transform them into something else.
So, and there's a lot of people out there like that. And again, we know that there's a lot of people in any type of business that might be, but her niche, again, is the healthcare industry. So it's a free half-hour career strategy session. You can either call in here at 602-277-5369, or you can call her direct. She does free consultations with everyone. Her number is 602-944-3292. The website is healthcarecareergrowth.com. Okay, so what you want to talk about first? You want to talk about those webinars first, or want to talk about some of the
thing
7
I'm
steps?
Very excited to work on right now is I've been developing courses online and teaching online since the early 90s when we first started doing it. And I thought, what a golden opportunity to use that as a vehicle for people who, say, live in another state, can't or aren't comfortable, working with someone on a one-to-one. They want something that they can refer back to. So I've been developing online courses, and several will be ready in September. and one is on the overall process, so people can work through it themselves.
Okay, and just really quickly before we go to a break, can you tell them a little bit about the process, because it's a step-by-step
It's a
program.
secret sauce, yes.
Ooh,
it's
you're talking a secret sauce too.
It's a 7-step system that I've been using for years and that gets results. Okay, so I walk people through each step. We partner along the way. It's not me telling you, you really want to do this or you really want to do that. It's helping you to figure out what you want to do. And then in order to do that, these are the steps that we have to go through so that you can do what you want to do.
Now, we've got our lines open here, and you're going to get that free 1/2 hour. It's a career strategy session. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's someone that you know. Give us a call here at 602-277-5369. Check her out. It's healthcarecareergrowth.com.